Hi, everybody. Dion here. One of the prevailing thoughts out there is that you can't measure the impact of soft skills, and not directly. And I didn't think that was true. And sometimes I'm a bit of a contrarian. And I wanted to set out to figure out a way to actually measure the impact of soft skills. And so, with that, what you're looking at is the Revenue by Design Leadership Pulse Assessment. And what I did is I built an assessment calculator and then tied it to revenue. So bear with me as we walk through this. I'm not going to walk through all of it because I know just in the interest of time. So what we did is we took 5 key areas: clarity, communication, culture, conversion, and consistency. Now, for some of you, you might be going, conversion is kind of a hard skill. It is. And so the reason behind that is we wanted to see a couple of things. So we set out to perform a hypothesis. Well, we set out to perform an experiment to prove or disprove my hypothesis that actually you can measure the impact of soft skills and impact it very well. So that's what we're doing with this across these 5 areas. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't say the purpose of this assessment is 100%, it's a self-assessment. We can take it to have the team involved, but it's really first and foremost designed to have leaders self-assess, okay, in some key broad areas. It's not meant to be a beat down. It's meant to be more of a spotlight and show us where maybe we thought we were doing well, but we weren't. And maybe where we thought we weren't doing well, we are at the end of the day. So it's simply an assessment tool for us as leaders, for those of us who want to get better. So the instructions, there's an instruction tab here, but it's really stream of consciousness. Go through on a scale of 1 to 5 and rate yourself on these things, if you will. 5 is I do them all of the time. 4 is I do these things, or I think these things are true 80% of the time. 5 is 50%. 3 is 20%. And 1 is, I don't know, I'm not tracking it. So from clarity, again, you're going to go through these and answer these. A lot of times what we see in clarity is I regularly communicate the why isn't always very consistent, right? So that's the whole point of this. Is it's designed to make us think, because when the going gets tough, and it always does, our stressed out persona comes out, and maybe we're dictating instead of explaining or collaborating with our team. And that is okay. It happens. Stress makes us ugly. So the goal, though, is to raise our awareness around it so that we can either recover from it quicker or simply address it before it even happens. From a communication perspective, we resolve misunderstandings quickly and directly. If you don't have any misunderstandings on your team, congratulations. I would also say there's probably not enough conversations happening then. Culture, again, do we address conflict with transparency and fairness? Are we celebrating progress? I'm a huge fan of neuroscience. And our brain, we are wired as humans for 2 things. 1, to survey for danger just based upon survival. That probably won't ever change. But we're also wired to do things that give us joy. So if the best example are babies, right? The minute you give them positive praise, they keep doing it. So you get to decide as a leader which way you want to lead: positive praise or the negative beatdowns. I'm not saying that's you, but I mean, constructive feedback isn't a beatdown. So there's a way to do it effectively. So then we want to think about conversion. Do we have clear KPIs? Have we made this line 37 of my team consistently meets or exceeds targets? That's a good one. Is your team meeting and exceeding targets consistently, meeting 80% of the time, 50, 20? And then, of course, consistency. You can see in this assessment here, the consistency score is a 7. So we are going to have a really hard time reconciling a few things here. So as a leader, your whole point is to go through this, complete it, and then take a step back. So when a leader completed this assessment and came up with a 7, on consistency, but everything else was a little bit higher. What that highlighted for us was this opportunity to really fine tune some of our behaviors, that our actions, our unconscious behaviors that are leading to deliberate actions that are producing a result. Now, that result might not be a good thing, but we want it to be. So the whole purpose of this is to drive that awareness. As an example, I have a director that I'm working with, and through going through this exercise, they were able to see that the extra training that the team required, while good, wasn't necessarily being tracked to desired outcomes. So we devised a way where we were able to come up with, how is this extra training raising the impact of the team, whereby we're seeing better conversion through the funnel, if you will. So that's what I mean when I say, how are our unconscious behaviors driving deliberate actions to generate positive outcomes. So that's the purpose of this. Now, for some of you, you're going, Dion, you're kind of far into this and I haven't seen the ROI yet. So I created an ROI calculator, and I have vetted it with numerous enablement leaders as well as CXOs, CROs, and VPs of sales. And what we want to be able to do with this is look at our ROI at the end of the day. Again, we want to be able to take our unconscious behavior and get it to more of a deliberate action, which drives our deliberate positive outcome. So what you're looking at here in the yellow is everything that you are going to input. So in this case, the team size, if you change that number, if you've got 10 people and they're each responsible for $500,000 in revenue on an annual basis, annual number, okay? The investment, this assessment is available on my website for $97. So $97 investment. So that's how you would input that. And then on the purple fields are the numbers coming over from the assessment sheet themselves. Again, yellow is basically what you are inputting. And then, of course, the net gain is auto-calculated from the revenue lift field. Now, some of you might be going, how do I calculate the revenue lift? Once you complete the assessment, you're going to come here and then you'll complete step 1. So you make sure you enter your team size, enter your revenue per employee. Then you're going to start looking. The purple, again, is brought over from the previous sheet. And these are my scores as is. Okay. So where do I want to be on clarity, communication, culture, conversion, consistency? So I might just give myself an easy target because sometimes the lift can be pretty high. So maybe I don't want to go from a 12 to a 17. That's a 5-point difference. That's hard to do. Maybe I simply want to go to a 15. Okay. My change is an 18-point change. How you want to look at this is you cannot change everything all at once. It's too hard, it's too complicated, and you won't stick with it. So you want to work on one thing at a time. So what you want to be able to say is, where can I get the biggest bang for my buck? What's going to be easiest for me right now, given what's going on in my business? Maybe I can work more effectively on my communication right now. That is the lever I need to work on. What you want to be able to do is then write a KPI and behavior-based goal. So if any of you have ever had an IEP, that will resonate with you. But we want to write behavior-based goals. So in this case, for communication, we want to look at our monthly calendar, confirm you held your one-on-ones. That is probably the easiest way to start tracking. Are my team meetings consistent? Do I have a consistent agenda? Am I communicating the important information? Am I covering off on the who, what, how, when, where, and why? The how is the operative word there. It's very easy to go to our team and say, hey, I told you. But sometimes what we haven't done is driven with enough clarity on the how, okay? So give yourself an easy way to measure. So in this case, communication might be, I want to increase by 3 points over 3 months. And my goal is to hold consistent one-on-ones. I'm going to look at my calendar for that at the end of every month, and I'm going to give myself a score. So if I've done it 80% of the time, over the course of a month, if I've held to my KPI metric, my behavior metric, I'm going to give myself a 1% bump if I hold myself to 80% of my behavior-based goals, my intentional behavior-based goals. So this is where you keep track of this month over month, quarter over quarter, take a snapshot and go from there. Because again, if I do hold my one-on-ones and my team meetings and my QBRs, and I'm consistent with my communication, I have SOPs for 90% of the work I do. Over the course of 3 months, I'm going to give myself a 3% bump, right? Which moves this number from a net gain perspective from whatever it was at 1% to 3%. I can now track my net gain by simply having more effective communication. And communication from a one-on-one perspective, communication from an SOP perspective. Everybody knows what to do, why they're doing it, and how to do it. From a unified perspective, we're after unity, not uniformity. Okay, so that is how you would use this ROI chart. So I encourage you, if you are somebody who wants to figure out how to be a better leader, you don't know where to start, you know you can do better and be better in some areas with your team, this might be a place for you to start. I encourage you to go and get the assessment, take that, and complete it, and then fill in the ROI calculator. Because as you can see here, step 3 is this is all auto-calculated at the end of the day. So over the course of a year, you can see an increase in roughly $800,000, which is an ROI of some astronomical number on an investment of 97 if you do the work. All right, everybody. So I encourage you, if you are looking to increase the engagement of your team, if you are looking to be a better leader and you're not sure how to quantify it, if you're thinking, you know what, my team doesn't need me, I communicate just fine, or they have everything they need, but you're not making your number, or you know you can do better or be better, or maybe you're nervous about the increase that's coming your way in the next couple of months of quota, of revenue attainment, this might be the best place to start, is to think about what you're doing, how you're doing it, looking at your leadership in 5 key areas, and give yourself some self-awareness. This might be the best place for you to start. I'll put the link to our resource page in the comments. You can absolutely see it. I encourage you to download it. Take a look. If you have any other questions, reach out. Here to help. Thank you.